Welcome to the 301 Colored Commentators, a monthly podcast series where two black men from the state of Maryland debate and give their hot takes on movies, professional wrestling, and TV shows. So have a listen, have a look-see, but nonetheless, enjoy.
Hey, what's up, folks?
How y'all doing?
You have 301 Colored Commentators back in the building for episode number 3. That's right. Season 2, number 3. That's right. And tonight, what me and Anthony are going to be talking about are, as usual, 3 things. The movie we're going to be talking about, the British crime drama, the best, highest grossing British crime drama ever, Blue Story from 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be talking about Grizzly Smith. Yeah, we'll get to him in a bit. Mm-hmm.
Quite distasteful.
Yes. And finally, we'll be talking about the hit Amazon Prime TV series, Swarm. But first and foremost, Anthony, start us off. What have you been up to?
Not much.
Not much?
Enjoying the summer as it comes, dog.
Summer? We've had like a Seattle summer for the first few days. Rainy and gloomy.
Correction. End of spring, transitioning into summer. Yeah, you're right. Ever since the summer has actually officially come here, we've had nothing but like dreary, stormy.
And you know it's not summer yet until you see girls walking around with sundresses and cork-heeled sandals on.
Sundress season is, in fact, here.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love it.
Yes. Love it.
But yeah, that's all I've been really up to. Just trying to live, enjoying the limited good weather that we have in this area. And just, celebrating people, chilling with people, music-wise, loving that Afrobeat genre as I always do.
Ain't there like a mansion party going on for like an Afrobeats concert / comedy show or whatever in DC?
Probably. More than likely. It's all over. We're all over the place. Africans are taking over.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, it's been nice. Just listening to a plethora of different artists. What you got on there?
Look, I'm sporting my shirt I got from TeePublic. Like Def Jam Vendetta, only all Denzel.
Yeah. Word. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. Training Day, and then isn't that
Flight?
That's Flight, or the joint with
Which one?
Jesus Shuttleworth. This joint.
Oh no. Oh yeah, that is a Jesus Shuttleworth. He got game. With Ray Allen, yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I've been consumed with. DeVito released the album since we last talked, which was great. Well, actually, it was probably before that, but it's been rocking. He's actually having a concert this weekend in the Capital One Arena, so that should be lit. And then
that's what I saw. Capital One Arena, where there's going to be an Afrobeats performance at. I saw that on IG actually.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. I'm not going though, but it's gonna be big. But yeah, I'm a big fan of that album, but I'm not going to the concert. So.
Got you.
But yeah, that Ashake also released the album like last week. It was or 2 weeks ago, something like that. It's pretty good as well. Not as good as the first one, but it's good. And just the genre in general, just pumping great music, man.
That's
we
what's
can
up.
go into a little rabbit hole if we really go into it. But just long story short, it's been amazing. Yeah, I'm trying to think in the other genres. I've been seeing your boy Jim Jones trying to battle Push.
Mm-hmm.
That is a disaster waiting to happen, though. But
yeah, Jimmy, you just had you had Cameron backing you, and you were just.
That joke was funny as hell. This man said,
"What you say?"
I quit. I do sports. Shout out to Killer Cam, dog, for that tweet.
Cam's a comedian.
It wasn't a tweet. It was an IG post. Cam is a legend, dog.
If I don't come, I'll send one of my cars.
He said, y'all can use me in my bars, but I quit, dog. I do sports.
Cam is crazy.
Love Cam, man. Dipset forever.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Even though them niggas got crushed in that Locks versus battle.
Locks bodied him. Bodied him for sure. But what you been up to, man?
What's it called? Mostly movies and TV series lately. I went to go see that Across the Spider-Man movie.
Still need to see that.
I liked it. I went to go see it twice. They got to do a third one based on what I saw.
Okay.
They got to.
Everybody that has seen it has told me it's great.
Yeah, I like the voice acting in it and the animation. It's unconventional as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, and the story, it's like, okay, you can fit this within the main Marvel Cinematic Universe somehow, and it'll work. They can incorporate it somehow.
And they were still able to mesh and integrate the different Spider-Mans.
All these different Spider-Mans. They were like Easter eggs, really, for me. It's like some of these people I only know about through the books, and I'm like, they put him in there? They golf clap.
Fire. Okay.
And not only that, though, what's it called? What other junk did I see? Oh, the TV show that I watched recently, the season 6 of Black Mirror.
I haven't seen that yet.
That was better than I thought.
I'm a you know me that I usually by now I'd have taken that out because that's still my top.
You're supposed to be on that.
Yeah, it's my top 3 in Netflix. But I've been lifing lately, so it's been.
They had
a lot's been going on, so but I will definitely take my time and watch that show. I love that show. It never disappoints.
Yeah, they were pretty good this season. They had less with the technological dystopia and more about the media satire of it. Yeah, they went with that with several episodes, I thought.
Okay.
And they also
interesting though.
Different angle. Yeah, angle they've been doing since a few seasons back actually.
Yeah.
Making fun of the media and how people just use their phones for everything.
I remember that episode. I do remember that episode, yeah.
And they also got a little bit of a deviation from the series, something called Red Mirror. It was like a throwback to like the horrors of the late 70s. It was a pretty good episode.
That's right up my alley because
English in England too.
Oh, word. Not even related to that, but I'm a big horror movie fanatic, and I like the old school ones too. So especially the ones that made in the 70s, I fuck with hard. So
yeah, they did their research to make it look like a real throwback 70s horror film. Like the ominous music, the great big red lettering and shit.
Yeah. I gotta check that out. It was 6 episodes, right? Or was it 5?
I think it was 6 episodes, or maybe 4 episodes in that one Red Mirror horror joint.
So it's 5 in total. All right. I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Yeah,
5 in total.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I get to it, it'll be an easy watch. I usually knock that out in one sitting because they're so good.
Yeah, they are. But one of them episodes I had to watch twice. The first episode was Selma Hayek.
Oh, she's in there, huh?
I was like, what the hell is going on here? I should have got this the first watch.
Yeah.
I had to watch it again.
I'm looking forward to that. Definitely.
I had to watch it again. I'm like, okay, this show is not afraid to skewer whatever. Even the people that host them.
I feel you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else?
What else has been going on? Not much of anything else actually. Music-wise, I just been still going old school, like old soundtracks. Nothing I bought since the first episode of this season actually. With the Sky Zoo record and the Snow Goons record, I haven't bought anything new since then actually. Okay. But I hope to because I buy albums. I buy at least 30 albums a year, and so far I've only bought 2.
For sure. You definitely are a true stickler to the CD.
Yes. I'm a stickler to that, and plus it's a collector's mentality.
Yeah, sure.
It's a matter of having control psychologically, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. More or less, yeah.
But other than that, just been those TV shows that I picked up on and the movie that I watched. Okay. And Blurred Con, I'm going to that next weekend too.
Oh, what is that?
It's gonna be in Crystal City.
Oh, okay, VA.
Mm-hmm.
VA. I think one of my boys is probably going to that joint.
He's got a panel?
He's like a so is that along the lines of like cosplay and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's pretty much Black Comic-Con pretty much.
There you go, yeah. So he's like a content creator when it comes to like videos, making short films.
Did I meet him already at what's it called? It's either the clothing line?
Yeah,
I met him, yeah.
Yaki Toko,
yeah. I met him, he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. He's probably gonna be there.
Okay. I'll know him when I see him.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, right into it.
Shall we get into it?
Let's do it.
All right. The first thing we're talking about is Blue Story, the 2019 English film directed by Rapman, who's also a rapper and a director, and this was his directorial debut, mind you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the film stars Stephen Odubola, Michael Ward, along with Eric Kofi Abrefa, who plays Lamar in BMF.
Ghana, baby.
Mm-hmm. Khalil Best, Karla Simone Spence, Richie Campbell, Joe Martin, and Junior Afolabi Salokun in supporting roles. Mm-hmm. The plot is 2 neighborhoods in South London, Peckham and Deptford. They're plagued by rival gangs, and caught in the middle of it are 2 best friends, Timmy, who's from Deptford, and Marco, who's from Peckham. When Marco's attacked by gangsters from Peckham, from Deptford, that Timmy knows, and Timmy knows these dudes, that creates a rift between the two friends that created devastating consequences throughout the movie. And the film, its themes, they focus on gang violence, friendship, betrayal, and overall black masculinity and love and youth.
Yeah. That's true.
I mistakenly skipped over that.
That's true. They do actually touch. And the amazing part about it is it's actually a musical too.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet as kept.
Yeah,
it's all gang related, but it's a musical, so it's pretty creative in that aspect.
Yeah, Rapman, he narrates a lot of the acts in the film. Musically raps them pretty much like a Greek chorus.
Yeah.
Think of like Little Shop of Horrors, the '86 version, where they had Pam, Gina, and some other chick like singing in between the acts and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah, the film is based on Rapman's 2014 YouTube series of the same name. And that in turn was based on real life English gangs, the Peckham Boys and the Ghetto Boys that lived in Deptford.
Mm-hmm.
The film got positive reviews from critics, and it grossed £4.7 million from a budget of £1.4 million, making it the highest grossing British gangster film of all time.
I didn't even know that. Interesting.
It got nominated for like a BAFTA Best Picture, I think it did too.
Oh yeah?
I think it did.
Okay. That's dope.
Yeah, there are similarities between this show and between this movie and the TV series, the Netflix TV series that we covered last season, Top Boy and Top Boy Summerhouse.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And the plot of this film was basically kicked off because of one big misunderstanding and teenage immaturity in general.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what you saw before I did, and you're more familiar with that territory. Speak on it, please.
Or like Peckham.
Peckham or the areas that you're familiar with.
I mean, I was there in like the late 80s, early 90s, so it's probably changed a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But Peckham was still like kind of hood when I was there.
Oh yeah?
I don't know if it is now.
What?
It might be gentrified. Things have changed over the. It's been damn year.
What do they call the projects in London, in England? What do they call them over there? Flats or what was it?
Well, actually, that's a good question. I know they call them ends, like your territories usually.
Ends.
Yeah, like your ends, or yeah. So, I don't know, like what they call hoods, but I know. Well, ends are technically my hood. My command ends is like commands for my area.
Not even just a hood, just like projects, like the actual subsidized projects.
I don't know. I don't think it's any much. I don't think it's. It might be a word. I don't know.
I read it somewhere before, but I forget the name.
I feel like it's even mentioned in Top Boy.
It probably is.
It's even mentioned in Top Boy, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But yeah, when I was younger, Peckham was still a little sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about today. It probably still kind of is, kind of like how to some extent, some certain areas, even in the DMV, have kind of changed in reputation.
Yeah, they have like what's it called, Rosemary.
Rosemary's one.
Well, it's called the Barrington now, but us people that grew up around that area and going there left and right, we don't call it that. It's still Rosemary to us.
Yeah, even Southeast DC has changed.
It has a lot.
Drastically, like it's being gentrified, so it's not what it used to be. I mean, it's still a little, but it's not what it was when we were in high school or middle school.
In fact, there's more white folks down there now than ever before. Like one of our classmates actually invited me down there to his housewarming / 40th birthday. Actually.
Oh, word?
Mm-hmm.
I know a few folks that live down there in Southeast, and like it's decent where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely changed from when you didn't want to be seen there.
Yeah.
In the mid to late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, one of our homies got into a confrontation down there and luckily escaped with his life, but
thankfully.
Yeah.
But there's still grown ass men, what's it called, that I know who are older than us that still try to act hood as hell and go down to areas like that. Try to act tough and hard, like Montana Avenue over in Northeast.
Yeah.
They go down.
Yeah.
I know one dude. He goes down there frequently, gets his ass beat, wakes up in a hospital, and then repeats the SOP again. Like nigga, what are you trying to prove?
He's trapped, as they say.
Now he's like us. He's one of them black suburban dudes that
act hard. Act hard.
Yeah, watched one too many BET videos or whatever, and tries to emulate that even at the age of 40.
He lost the plot, dog. So you should talk him out of it, bro.
Can't tell that nigga nothing. He already been to jail and everything.
How old is he?
He's a year older than us, like 41.
Okay, so he's technically our peer.
Yeah, our peer, but it's like some people you just can't tell them nothing.
Yeah. I mean, you can only advise.
You only advise them, yeah. Like this film right here, gang violence. Like they did try to Rapman. He's anti-gangs. I mean, he calls it the post-Code War.
Yeah,
is what he calls it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like he tells people like, what's it called? You don't got to defend your territory like your government agents.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is also very synonymous and similar to some certain gang correlations in America.
Yeah,
like in Chicago, it's very similar. Like you have kids that at one point were friends in elementary and early middle school, and by the time they get to high school, they become aware of this whole territorial hood thing.
It's like,
and they by default become enemies after being best friends forever because the code is you're loyal to your hood or whatever. It's very similar in this.
And to a lesser extent, it's like, what's it called? When you're friends with all your people in elementary school, right? And different races, all different races, you don't care about that. Then you get to middle school where you become more conscious of that and veer towards people that look like you.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Like I can't count how many white female friends that drifted apart from me once we got to middle school.
Yeah. I think I've told you this before. Like when I first moved to America in middle school, I noticed the innate segregation even within the kids. Like everybody was cool, but consciously people would kind of stick to
their own.
Yeah. Whereas like that was not really the case. I mean, to be fair, when I was in the UK, I was a lot younger, so it probably was the same with you around the age in America as well, where like it didn't matter what your race was, you were all cool.
Yeah. But
then coming from Ghana, I didn't really expect to see that in your face just like that. Like everybody, the Latinos will sit here, the black people sit here, the white people sit here, and it's just very interesting. Wait
till you look at our class reunions. It's pretty much the same thing.
I believe it. I believe it. And I've probably even like subconsciously been assimilated to that based on my experiences here. Like
we had an English teacher when we were in high school. We were seniors, Miss Wood. I mean, she mentioned that one time before too. Like if she walks into a room.
What did she teach?
English. Our English teacher when we were seniors. First half of the year.
I remember.
Yeah, I remember she mentioned what's it called? When certain people walk into the room, really, they look around to see who's more familiar to that and veer towards their own. And even she admitted that when she looks around the room, she like subconsciously or consciously veers towards other white women.
Yeah, I do remember her saying that. We had some actually really interesting English teachers in high school.
Yeah.
Some of them were very, very bright.
Sheridan. He was a stoner.
With the exception of Sheridan. But like...
Even now, even students that graduated 10 years after us, they knew too.
Yeah, I think we're even veering a little far off.
But
yeah, they were. I'll off record. I'll talk to you about that. But as far as this show goes, it's very interesting the dynamic of how these guys were like boys. Growing up, they were like inseparable.
Timmy, Marco, Hakeem, and Andrew.
They were all like boys.
They were all tight. All four of them.
And then Timmy's brother was, very heavy in the gang stuff.
So he started to Switcher.
Yeah, Switcher, aka Kofi. He started to rub off his influence onto Timmy, and Timmy started to kind of look at what's his face. Marco. Sorry, sideways. Marco, you could tell he was a lot more level-headed at the beginning.
Or was it Timmy? Timmy was the one that had what's his face? What's her face? Leah. Timmy was in love with Leah.
Wasn't Marco?
Marco was Switcher's younger brother.
Marco was Switcher's younger brother?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Timmy, yeah, you're right. Timmy became Younger Matter, right?
Yeah, Timmy became Young Matter, yeah.
I'm switching the names up, but yeah. So Timmy was the more level-headed one, and you could tell like he was more stable and more like the good student. He was even doing the homework for some of his
some of his boys. Yeah.
He was very level-headed. Tried to stay away from that whole gang life, even though he was from the rival.
He was from Deptford,
right?
Yeah, not from Peckham.
Not from Peckham. So,
but people thought he was a ghetto boy because of where he's from. It's like, nah.
Yeah, and then because he knew some of the people that were in the gang from when they were younger.
Yeah, like a Killy.
Yeah, like Killy, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And Killy was the one that set the plot off when he attacked Marco.
Yeah.
When he attacked Marco, and then Marco got it into his head that Killy and Timmy were still boys, and Timmy had something to do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Had Marco just used his head.
Yeah.
If he used his head, there'd be no movie.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why But yeah.
But it testifies to teenage immaturity. I mean,
a lot.
I've had a lot of friends, or we had misunderstandings based on a rumor, and they just ran with it, and it took years to actually just get their heads out of that.
Yeah, I believe you. I know.
Mm-hmm. Even people that I had a rivalry with back in high school. It's like it was like that. That was the basis of our relationship. Rumors that they heard, and then having enmity because of it. But now, as grown ass men, we're friends.
Yeah, I know. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Shout out to him too. You're a real cool dude.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah. So unfortunately for Timmy, he loses the love of his life.
Leah
in the midst of this whole.
I like her. Karla Simone Spence. She's a good actress, and
she is a good actress.
She's pretty too, and I just love her. I love that London Cockney accent that she got.
Yeah, she's pretty. She can actually sing. In real life, yeah.
Well, you be meeting up later. The way they say it, I noticed that after I watched Top Boy, the different accents in England. Yeah. And some people enunciate and speak properly, and others, it's like broken English.
Yeah, different areas here have different accents. The same thing in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Manchester sounds different. Liverpool Scousers sound different.
Mm-hmm.
People around Newcastle sound almost Scottish.
That's why they got so many.
When
we were out there, I met our boy had plenty of Scottish friends as well too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very similar. The accents are different.
I'll give myself another one.
Cool.
I'm still talking.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, the accents. It's like similar to New York City. It's like to outsiders, we can't tell a Staten Island accent from a Brooklyn accent. Exactly. I mean, most New Yorkers, they all sound the same to me.
Yeah. So, but yeah, not to go too far off, but yeah, after she is.
Yeah, what's it?
It's a fatal casualty of the gang.
Yeah, Marco just pushed her and she hit her head.
Yeah.
He didn't mean to kill her, but he went to jail for that.
Yeah,
good.
He went to jail for that, and that completely turns Timmy
in the gang life.
So he definitely now becomes affiliated. Actually, not more than affiliated. He becomes like.
He joins his boy Killy. Just joins the gang.
Yeah, he joins the gang. He's really respected. He's one of the top dogs.
Yeah, he's
one of the young guys.
He's a prodigy, for lack of a better word.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But the difference between him and the others, he's very smart.
He's still more level-headed as a thing, yeah. I mean, I decry gang life as is, but it's like if you're gonna have members in your group, have them be smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Be smart and know when to show flex and when not to.
Yeah, and you could tell at the depths of everything, they still loved each other. But they were so far gone into
the gang life. It's like this is who I am now.
Yeah. So
and what was it? Matter is the only one that made it out of it with a happy ending.
Yeah.
Matter was the leader of the ghetto boy.
Yeah.
He was leader of the ghetto boys.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. He made it out to life no problem at all. I mean, he became like one of those He went to jail and became like a motivational speaker to get people out of gang life.
Exactly.
Like those two dudes, Luis and Daniel Moncada, the ones who played the twins on Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cousins. Yeah, they were heavy in the gang life, and they got plenty of tattoos, even "fuck you" on their eyelids, which they regret now. Yeah, but when they went to jail and they saw how messed up that life was, they turned themselves around.
Yeah. I believe it. So, so then the whole essence of this movie is to actually illustrate how, detrimental and
it's
not unproductive.
It's
long term, this whole gang thing is a knife crime is in the UK. It's very similar.
It's similar to the U.S. Yeah, it's like
the only difference is here. There's definitely a higher volume of guns, so there's a higher volume of murders and stuff like that.
but the gist of law enforcement in regards to both the same. They want them to kill themselves.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
I mean, there's a lot of racism involved in that.
Very much the same. Yeah.
And it's cyclical too, because the way the ending was, what's it called? Young Matter, who worshipped Timmy.
Yeah.
And made music.
He's trying to like avenge his death and
trying to avenge his death, and they try to tell him, even other gang members, I'm like, ain't nobody left. The people that did it are no longer around.
Yeah, yeah. He's
so
yeah, it's kind of how it works.
Works here too.
Yeah.
They just want teenagers. They join these gangs and they got all this anger and they want to vent it somehow, even if the target is pretty much ephemeral.
And at the end of the day, the person that suffers most is the parent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of emphasized. You know, like if you
emphasizing the film.
Even at the very end, they actually show real footage, like when
of the gang,
or like some of the fatalities, or example of the fatalities where like you hear like a woman's voice say, "My son, my son."
Oh yeah, because Switcher.
That part at the end is actually real coverage.
Oh.
You notice the camera changes even. So
I know that.
Was actually the fatality of some random gang member that was stabbed to death in England.
I didn't know that. And what's it called? Like, also, let me talk about Eric Kofi Abrefa, his performance in here. Yeah. I didn't know Eric Kofi Abrefa until we saw him in BMF as Lamar and affecting an American accent. Yeah. And he's a pretty good actor. Here he plays an English equivalent of Lamar, but not as crazy. Yeah. But he gaslights his brother Marco into the gang life, and even after he himself gets propped in a wheelchair, gaslights his brother. But when Marco gets killed, it's like he just swallows a bunch of pills.
Yeah, he just overdoses.
Yeah,
he's suicidal.
He's suicidal. Yeah, I mean, life was already bad enough that you're confined to a wheelchair at a young age. Yeah, and your brother's death just gave you an excuse to just end it, I suppose.
And even like within the whole gang life and stuff, you see that there really isn't, to some extent, real loyalty. People snitch, people turn against each other out of jealousy, as you see in the show.
And the smart ones get out of that shit.
The smart ones always get out of it when they realize this is dumb.
That one dude that got out of it early in the film, and I forget his name though. He was going up against Matter, I think it was.
Oh yeah. He just walked away.
Walked away, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm like, good for you. You're saving yourself a lot of years, pal.
Yeah. So.
And I looked at this film and I kept thinking, what's it called? It kept having parallels to the early episodes of the Wu-Tang Saga on Hulu.
I haven't seen that. I heard that's good too.
Yeah, I mean the early episodes where they talk about like what's it called? The rival gangs in Staten Island. Stapleton, Theodore. That's similar to this as well too. It's like. I'm like, y'all think the government that created these projects actually gives a fuck if you're warring each other? Right. No, they're happy.
Exactly. It's also
less black people.
Less black people. It also adds to the lucrative institution that is called prison.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people profit from prison.
Yeah, prison is a profit program. It's like I remember on season 4 of Orange Is the New Black, they showed like
you see, I'm off, man. I need to. Yeah, I need to do better. Because I heard that's a good show, too.
That was good, yeah, up until the last season, I thought it was. But in season 4, they parodied the privatization and the profits of prison systems now by showing like a Comic-Con version of all the different prisons that are out.
Interesting. That's good. Very creative, actually.
Yeah, it is, actually.
Very creative, yeah.
I was like, oh, I see the satire in this. It's clever.
Yeah. It's very creative.
But this movie right here, Blue Story, yeah, Anthony put me onto this. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Yeah, these black British dramas and whatnot, Top Boy, Blue Story, and a lot of the I get to see a lot of that culture as well too, and the hip hop that goes with it, like a British hip hop,
British drill music.
It's really dope. A lot of it is, and people sleep on it too. Like what's it called? I mean, remember SAS?
Yeah, Dipset.
Dipset Eurogang. Mm-hmm. Remember they had a line that goes, "Shit, I'll shoot a sucker free just to show that I'm sucker free."
Those guys made me laugh. They were cool though.
They did.
Cool.
Funny. And Dipset could have expanded with them dudes too.
I could have done more with them. They could have done more. They could have actually helped accelerate the English drill sound here.
They could have, yeah.
But I guess it was just more so for
For show, I guess, or for mixtapes.
Yeah.
Because them dudes appeared more on mixtapes than they did in an official album.
Yeah, that's true.
But shout out to SAS.
Yep. Shout out to the
Streets all salute.
Yeah, dog. But yeah, I definitely recommend watching it. It's cool. It's different. You could tell it was a lot of the actors and actresses have experienced or come from this. They
got that English Royal Academy of Arts or whatever that a lot of them go to.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like Damson Idris, I know he went there.
Yeah. I don't know what Kofi's background is, but I know he started early. So same with Karla. Yeah,
they went to prestigious British academies for acting.
Yeah. So, and now I think she's in a couple of Karlas and like Bridgerton, whatever you call that joint.
With that light skinned dude. Yeah. Who's the main character?
Yeah, she's in there. She's in another one, or she either not Bridgerton, but like the spinoff of that show. One of them early English historical shows on Netflix. She's on, and I think she's on another joint that's on local English TV. Obviously, Kofi is in what you call it,
BMF.
So
they're gonna do I heard they're gonna do a spinoff of BMF. Strictly with Lamar's character, actually, because he made such a splash that even though we should hate him, and I do hate the character actually, but
he did a great job.
Yeah, Kofi did good on that. Shout out to you, Kofi.
Yeah, for sure.
But Karla Simone Spence, I love you.
Yeah, she's cute. She's cute.
Now I want a black British chick.
Oh, you could go to England and see them.
I will. Yeah. And talks with that kind of accent too. Don't talk with no proper English around me.
Yeah, you can find them in the end, dog. You go over there.
Bet. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
They got that dense British slang, but fuck, I got the dense American slang.
Listen to enough British music or British hip hop or soccer YouTubes and you pick it up.
Wagwan.
Yeah, Wagwan.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on now, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. My man Si's picking up.
Okay.
Picking up on his UK lingo.
I've only been there just once actually, and it was fun. Yeah. Y'all do, but the Brits, they do fish and chips better than Americans do.
Yeah, because it's like their little fast food thingy.
Actual fish and chips with vinegar.
Yeah, it's good. And malt vinegar.
Malt vinegar at that, yeah. And also, you got your massage parlors in the alleys, not in the strip malls like we do. We're dumb.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, props to the English.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and like, let me not get into
that. Yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah.
I wasn't even going into what you just said. But
oh no,
it was more about the fish and chips. But
yeah, fish and chips is the bomb in England. Yeah. They do it the best. Yeah. But okay, anyway, moving on. We're gonna be talking about Grizzly Smith. Let me just say this first. When we say fuck Vince McMahon or fuck Hulk Hogan, we mean that within the context of the business itself, of the wrestling business itself. Yeah. But fuck Grizzly Smith, fuck him as a person, and I hope he's in hell.
Yeah, he's a disgusting man.
Yeah. He was born Aurelian Smith Sr., technically. Yeah. He was a professional wrestler who began wrestling in 1958. After he retired in the late 1970s, he held various backstage positions with promotions like Mid-South Wrestling, the World Wrestling Federation, back when it was the WWF in the 1964, and even WCW. Yeah, he was born August 1st, 1932, died June 12, 2010 of Alzheimer's disease in his native Texas. But his life outside the wrestling ring was more notorious. You see, he was the father of Aurelian Smith Jr., his firstborn child, who we know better as Jake the Snake Roberts. Rockin' Robin and Sam Houston, also fellow wrestlers with their brother, and the latter two, Robin and Sam, were through his second marriage.
Okay.
And mind you, he has 2 other children after Jake the Snake through his first marriage. Yeah. And I say marriage with quotation fingers because you'll see why in a few minutes. Yeah. He had Richard Neighbors, who he separated all of his children too. Richard was actually raised by his sister. Yeah, he sent Richard to be raised by his sister, which was good for him because in Richard's own words, he's the lucky one. And
right.
And Joe Lynn, who was kidnapped in 1979 and most likely dead by now.
Was murdered.
Murdered, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say fuck Grizzly Smith and use quotation fingers is because he's been the subject of repeated allegations of sexual abuse of minors, including that of his own children. In fact, pedophilia. Pedophilia. Mm-hmm. In fact, all of his wives, the mothers of his children, were all teenagers that he raped, teenage girls. Yeah. Jake the Snake Roberts, his mother, was 13 years old, and Aurelian and Grizzly Smith was going out with Jake's mother. I mean, with the girl's mother at first. Yeah. Then he actually went to the girl's room, her daughter's room, when she was 13, and raped her, of which Jake the Snake was the byproduct of. Mm-hmm. So really, Jake the Snake, sad to say, is like Olivia Benson from Law & Order SVU. He's a product of rape. Yeah. And Richard Neighbors and Joe Lynn, I don't know if they are. Actually, you know what? They are. Because you know why? Because whether forced or not, it's still rape, statutory rape.
Not only that, I think Joe Lynn at one point, when she started to build a relationship with Rockin,
her sister, yeah,
her sister, half sister, whatever.
Yeah,
they both kind of came together and shared the moment of did he, and like
you know.
Yeah, they both were like, yeah. So they were both literally raped and sexually abused by him.
And in a twisted way, they bonded over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Grizzly Smith, yeah, he had a predilection for teenage girls. Mm-hmm. I mean, although he did marry again for a third time in the summer of 1992, but this time to a woman who was actually 34 years his junior, an actual adult.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
Yeah, she was an actual adult. She was over 21. Yeah. But still, he did have a predilection for girls that were much younger than him. And I first heard about Grizzly Smith through that Beyond the Mat wrestling documentary that came out in '99, where they focus on various people. The Rock and Mankind's match at a Royal Rumble '99, they focus on that and the violence of it. Mm-hmm. But before that, they had a segment where they focused on Jake the Snake Roberts. They talked about how he cheated on his wife when he was on the road, how he would be smoking crack cocaine, and how he went from being a wrestler making $1 million or $2 million a year in sold out arenas to having the Randy the Ram, Mickey Rourke wrestler life where he just wrestles in like high school gymnasiums now in small town America. Yeah. But what they also showed was his relationship with his father, with Grizzly. They showed them doing yard work together, but tellingly not talking to each other at all. And what Grizzly Smith said in regards to his relationship with Jake was this: I love all my children. He was born in love. Given what I later learned about Grizzly Smith is like born in love? In love? Yeah, if you consider rape a special kind of love. And, dirty motherfucker, you.
He used to always like criticize and shit on Jake the Snake.
Yeah, like tell him that you aren't shit, you're not made for the wrestling business.
And Jake the Snake was by far the most successful wrestler out of his children.
He was the most successful. I mean, they did say that Sam Houston was the best worker, but he was
better athlete. Yeah.
Better athlete, but he was small, so they couldn't do much with him. But Jake, he's the most famous and the better at promos and psychology.
Sold the gimmick psychologically.
Because he said himself that he killed Aurelian Smith Jr. and I think he legally changed his name to Jake Roberts. He did. Yeah, he goes like, what's it called? It's like a multiple personality kind of thing. I had to kill off my old self to become this new guy.
But I mean, if you listen to, there's also an interview with him on Vlad TV. Mm-hmm. If you listen to his story from childhood to adulthood, you're actually shocked, or you give him kudos for not committing suicide. He had a very shitty, very very shitty upbringing. So for him to like say that he killed Aurelian Smith or whatever the hell he was, Junior, it makes a lot of sense. If that was the way he was able to handle the trauma that he dealt with as a child, growing into an adult, then so be it. Because if he had to just stomach it and say, "This is who I am,"
someone's gonna explode.
Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, I think he still struggles with it, but for the most part,
he's at peace with it somewhat.
He's been able to compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize, yeah. He does have he
really affiliate with.
Yeah, he does kind of have like a little bit of a humorous perspective on it a little bit now. I guess it's in order to deal with it. Yeah. But like, what's it called? He talked about how, he lived with his grandparents briefly. And when one of them died, he was forced to go and live back with his father, which he did not want.
Yeah.
And how his father's newest wife, I'm guessing that was Rockin, Robin, and Sam Houston's mother, she would have forced him to do like sexual acts or whatever.
Yeah, I heard. He did say that. So his stepmom also molested him.
Yeah, Jake is like the hate. He's the firstborn child of Grizzly Smith, though. He represents hate, and for good reason.
Yeah, he's like the epitome of the most traumatized trailer trash white person in America. It is what it is. Just go listen to his interview.
And,
that's really what he is.
Rockin' Robin,
he endured and persevered.
They all were harassed and beaten and molested by their father. Rockin' Robin, she's the strongest of all of them.
Yeah.
Richard, he's a lucky one.
Yeah.
Jolynn, well, she's dead now.
Yeah.
And Sam Houston, he's gullible as fuck.
Yeah.
He believed his daddy was Superman.
Apparently, Jolynn there's rumors that Grizzly actually set her up because.
Yeah, there is.
He was afraid that she was going to expose his pedophilia.
She was, yeah. I mean, I think Grizzly Smith had a lot to do with her kidnapping because the circumstances were that they were all the other siblings were at a roller skating rink having a party, and then they get a phone call from their father, right, from Grizzly, telling them that Jolynn went missing, and only the baby, her child was left at the scene. Yeah, her infant son Ted. And the baby was fine in his crib, but they found menacing letters, and that led to the ex-wife of Jolynn's husband. He was married before. And the ex-wife confessed to the kidnapping, but she said that Jolynn escaped shortly after she was abducted. But where the fuck is she at now?
But there was also evidence, but not enough to incriminate her. There was like DNA and shit and blood, and apparently in the vehicle that they couldn't necessarily tie to because there was no body found to really.
Rockin' Robin, she thought that Grizzly Smith was responsible for Jolynn's disappearance. Like you said, she had information on the guy.
Jake said the same thing.
He
didn't allow them to attend the funeral. Grizzly didn't allow them. He said they shouldn't attend the funeral. He
had something to do with it. He did. Yeah. What reason would you got for preventing from your other children from attending their sister's funeral?
Exactly. So the gist is, he didn't want her around too long to expose him. So that's why he organized that. And
according to Richard Neighbors, he thought that he said that Grizzly didn't express too much grief at her disappearance or her loss.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Which lends further credence to the idea that he has something to do with it.
Exactly.
I mean, and also because of Grizzly Smith, he influenced the careers and also the drug addictions of all his children. Well, not Richard. Richard is a clean one. He's a good one.
Yeah, he had the most regular upbringing out of the bunch.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, and Richard never got an apology from his dad for pretty much sending him off to live with his aunt, and the rest of them never got an apology or heart to heart for him abusing them. I mean, he would even try to gaslight his children in regards to his wrestling gimmick, like come home and still be that character.
Jake hates him with a passion now.
With a passion, he hates his daddy.
Yeah, he hates him.
Like, my birth name is Aurelian Smith Jr., but for obvious reasons, I call myself Jake the Snake Roberts. He even changed, for his gimmick, he even changed where he was from. Stone Mountain, Georgia is where Jake the Snake is from.
They're actually from Texas.
They're from Texas. A lot of pro wrestlers are from Texas, actually.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, Taker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Billy Gunn, the Von Erichs. Yeah. Although the Von Erichs did live in Canada at one point where they were neighbors with the Hart family.
Oh, they trained in the dungeon, right?
They did, yeah. They did. That's how they became acquainted with the Harts. And the Von Erichs, their real last name is Atkinson. It's like Road Dogg's family. James is not his real name. Armstrong is. Like, you remember his brothers from WCW, Scott and Steve Armstrong? They were jobbers, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They were the Road Dogg's brothers.
I didn't even know that. I see.
Yeah, and their daddy is Bullet Bob Armstrong. May he rest in peace.
I don't think I know him though, but yeah. Nah, it's pretty disgusting, and he was huge. I think a lot of people were intimidated by him. He apparently was a 7-footer.
What, Grizzly?
Yeah, he was a big dude.
Even Jim Cornette, who's a wrestling historian, he was like every joke he heard about Grizzly Smith was made in terms of being with younger girls, and Cornette, he saw that as strange when he first got into the wrestling business, but didn't get why until later. Yeah, he didn't know about Grizzly Smith's life until life outside the wrestling ring until much later. Because like making pedophile jokes about the guy, that is pretty strange.
Yeah.
But now he knows why.
Yeah.
Wasn't Baby Doll, Sam Houston? That was his wife, right? Baby Doll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said that she recalled a time where
she was
she was
in the car with him.
in the car with him, and then he picked up a teenage girl off the road, and her parents just practically gave her to Grizzly Smith, and that's when she knew something was up.
Something was up. This is a grown ass man. What the hell is he doing with a teenager?
Yeah, why?
On the road.
I don't get that. I don't.
If anything, the only affiliation he should have with teenagers is signing autographs.
Pretty much, yeah. and whatever the equivalent was of selfies or pictures were back then.
Yeah.
Grizzly Smith is, good God. Good God. What else happened with him?
How he saved his son Sam from
8
million DUI. They're all traumatized. Though.
They're all traumatized by it. Sam Houston is by now too. He doesn't view his father as Superman no more.
Yeah.
He was the gullible one. Remember, Sam Houston used to be a blonde when he first started out, and eventually let his hair be his natural hair color brown. He used to do a dance when he got in the ring.
The cowboy Sam Houston. Yeah. He was a useless wrestler. Though.
He wasn't. I only remember him from Survivor Series '88. That's all I remember him from.
Me too. That's all I might have seen him in like one of them In Your House local joints that you can just watch on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And that's not of past memory. It's more so I was watching recently old school wrestling and I saw him. Oh, yeah, goes Sam Houston. But he wasn't a child in the present time when he was wrestling. All I remember him from is from '88.
That one pay-per-view, yes. All I remember him from.
The Ultimate Warriors team, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else do they got here?
What else we got from him?
Yeah, Rockin' Robin, she was the only one that stood up to him at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, as much as he hates him, I don't think he ever actually called his father out.
No, I don't think so. I think Jake, at some point, you could tell there was an element of fear. He was kind of scared of his dad.
Even as a grown ass man, it's like,
I mean, you're traumatized, so like
you can't shake it. It's like the fear if you got of your own mother.
Yeah. Especially it's almost like an element of fearful respect.
Yeah, it's like I guess it's like I hate you, but I still respect you as my dad
because of that psychological conditioning you gave him.
I guess,
at an early age. You know It happens to a lot of people even to today.
I mean, you can hate or dislike your father and yet still respect him.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve respect.
No, he doesn't. No, he does. Fuck no.
Yeah, and it's pretty evident from his kids.
Talking about you were conceived and loved. What the hell? What?
And then in the same breath say he's useless, he can't amount to anything.
You shit on him and say that you love your son. It's like, what the? Did you watch any of his wrestling in the 80s or 90s? He's your most successful child. You should be proud of him.
Yeah, he's actually a hell of a wrestler.
Hell of a wrestler. The DDT, he invented that move.
Yeah, hell of a move.
Yeah. Diamond Dallas Page and Raven, he trained them, I think.
DDP, I think so,
yeah. Yeah, Raven was influenced by him, clearly.
He was the influence, I think, but he definitely trained DDP.
And the last angle I remember from Jake the Snake was what's it called in WWF. But before he became known for catalyzing the whole Austin 316 joint, what's it called? The feud he was supposed to have with Taker, and before that, Macho Man. Those should have been good.
But they didn't put enough into it.
They didn't put enough into it. I mean, what's it called? When Taker actually saved Macho Man and turned face, it's like
They had no use for him after that.
No, they didn't. WrestleMania 8 was like his last match in the WWF for years.
That pissed me off because I'm gonna say why.
Go ahead.
The DDT is one of the greatest finishing moves in wrestling ever.
If done right, the way he does it, the way Raven does it, they do it right.
And he delivered like 5 or 6 of them to Taker.
And the way he would just like slap your head down.
Yeah, and then again, to be fair, he never pinned him. He would just DDT him and he just sat there. Remember that? You remember that shit?
Well, Rick Martelli did the same thing.
Yeah, he just DDT and just sat there, and this is why he was such a great wrestler, because he had such a maniacal, psychological element to his gimmick.
Yeah, he did.
Like, you finish you off and he just go sit there in the corner and just smile and chuckle like some demented.
He's a snake in the grass.
Yeah, basically. But he's definitely a great wrestler.
And he hated the snake that he had, Damien, and
Yeah.
later Lucifer.
Yeah. Apparently,
Earthquake.
He had no affiliation to snakes. He had to get to understand how to treat them and stuff for his gimmick.
Like, yeah, for his like interviews when the snake would be wrapped around him and he'd have to like improvise, jive like, and still be in like that whole psychological like fuck with his opponent mode.
Yeah.
He was good at that. He was one of the best at promos.
Absolutely. Great wrestler.
And Jake the Snake
He wasn't the greatest technically gifted wrestler, but he would sell. He's good at selling his matches with his limited ability, and how he promoted and sold his character was amazing.
He was better in promos than I liked him as a wrestler, but he was better at promos. Yeah. That got me more excited.
Yeah.
He was a good actor. He had to be being in an abusive household.
I agree. So, shout out to the Rob. Well, I can't say the Roberts, the Smiths outside of
Smiths,
outside of the Grizz. Yeah.
When Rockin' Robin, when she lost the women's title, that pretty much killed it for the next 6 years until Alundra Blaze came out.
Oh, really? She lost it to Sherry?
Yeah, at that one Royal Rumble, I think it was.
It was Royal Rumble.
Yeah. We covered that, 89, yeah.
Yeah, 89, yeah.
But the best women wrestlers will always be the Jumping Bomb Angels.
Yeah.
If there's a t-shirt for them, I want one.
Shout out to Japan, right?
Yeah.
Japan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The JBAs.
Yeah. Hell of technical.
And they put on a hell of a show.
Great technicians in the ring.
Yeah, them chicks put on a hell of a show in the ring. They could wrestle.
Yeah, definitely.
They're Hall of Fame too.
Yeah, they made it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
They deserve it. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anything else about Grizzly Smith? Let me see.
That's all. Fuck him.
Let me see anything else.
Shit's nasty.
And as to this day,
he's a combination of pedophilia and incest. Oh.
Yeah. And as of this day, his children, they're still pretty. All 4 of his living children are still pretty much estranged.
I believe it.
Yeah, and Sam Houston, his home was destroyed by what's it called? Him and Rockin' Robin, their homes were destroyed by Katrina back in 2005.
Oh, okay.
And Grizz was living with Sam Houston at the time.
Interesting.
I'm like, dude, I wouldn't, if my dad was like that, I would not let him live with me at all. I wouldn't want no contact with that fucker.
Yeah, he was basically practically a vegetable at the time, and I guess Sam was the one taking care of him.
Pretty much, yeah. But what's it called? As bad as McMahon or Hogan is, Grizzly Smith, he's even worse.
Yeah. Good thing is we don't really have any affiliation because he was old.
Older than us, yeah. Watching. Yeah, we don't even remember. If I did see him on camera, I didn't know it was him.
Yeah, exactly.
Beyond, except for the whole Beyond the Mat one thing, which I saw in the theater. I never saw him in any other promotion before that.
Yeah, he's older than my dad, dog. There's no way I saw that man in the ring, dog.
He's older than my dad too.
Yeah, dog.
Over 10 years older.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I guess we could move on.
Move on, okay. The final topic. You fuck Grizzly Smith. Yeah. F that nigga. What's it called?
Yeah, go ahead, son.
Well, Swarm from Amazon Prime. That debuted this year in full on St. Paddy's Day. And it's a very satirical, darkly comic psychological thriller. It's comprised of just 7 episodes, and the series is, in a nutshell, about a young woman whose obsession with a female pop star, a Beyonce type of figure, takes a dark homicidal turn. It's the plot is set between 2016 and 2018, so at this point it's pretty much a period piece. And it follows the story of Andrea Green, nicknamed Dre, played by Dominique Fishback.
Shout out to her, she killed it.
Yeah, she did. She played an Arrested Development-minded, an adolescent-minded girl, and an adolescent-minded adult whose obsession with a uber pop megastar, Nyjah, who's modeled after Beyonce. And Nyjah's fan base are called the Swarm, just like Beyonce's Beehive. And some of them, like Dre, are dangerously obsessed with her. I mean, Dre, based on the flashbacks that we saw in later episodes, Dre is weird and violent prior to that. I mean, doing a talent show where she sings a redneck song and gets booed and ridiculed, which no doubt attributed to her psychological trauma. But it was the suicide of her foster sister, Marissa, that really kicked off her killing spree. And Dre, she is a true psychopath. I mean, she uses multiple aliases throughout the series, and she views anyone who doesn't see Nyjah as God Almighty as bad. Like, it became like an armor-piercing question, like, what's your favorite Nyjah song? And they don't like Nyjah, then she will be killed she'll be killed as a result of your disrespect.
Yeah.
And she also kills impulsively as well too. Yeah. I mean, anyone that gets between her and her idol, she'll kill. Yeah. Like what's it called? That stripper, that fellow, when she was posing as a stripper.
Yeah, that dude.
Not just a dude, but what's it called? Her fellow stripper, played by Paris Jackson.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, mixed race stripper. Haley is her name.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm black. And then Dre's like, wait a minute, you're black? Well, my dad is. Which is pretty much a meta commentary on her father, her real life father, Michael Jackson, and as well as the singer Halsey.
That's true. Halsey. Yeah.
Halsey, which her name is like a homonym for. Yeah. When she killed Haley after killing her boyfriend, she killed Haley all because Haley expressed a desire to be on the road with her. Yeah. But when she killed her, she was like, wait a minute, who the fuck is Halsey? Look that up.
I didn't even know Halsey was black until you told me a couple, like last year or something.
Yeah, she's half black. Halsey, the singer, the real life singer, that is.
She's actually a good artist.
Yeah, I remember I first saw her on SNL when she did like a caricature of Rashida Tlaib. Talking about impeach the motherfucker, bitch.
I actually listened to her first album. That was back in like 2014 or 2015. It was actually decent. That's when I realized she's actually a decent artist. I didn't know what she even looked like at the time. Yeah. But someone put me on the album. It's cool.
Yeah, she's clearly mixed, but under different light, she can go either way.
She can actually sing though, talent wise. So, but
and she dated what's it called? That Evan Peters, the dude that played Jeffrey Dahmer in that Dahmer flick we saw last year.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she dated him for a while,
I think she also dated either Machine Gun Kelly or one of them dudes. Or the other guy that rapped did a lot of hard cocaine with black hair.
Wait, Yellow Wolf?
No. He was more mainstream. This guy was more mainstream.
I can't think of who that might be.
He dated another.
Not Macklemore.
No, another artist. And they did drugs together a lot. I forget his name, bro.
It's like a rap sit.
Yeah, he had black hair.
It's like a rap sit.
He had like 2 hits, and that was it.
It's like a rap sit in Nancy.
Right.
But I don't. The artist you're talking about, I can't think of him for the life of me.
I forget his name, but I'm not, when it comes, obviously not gonna come in this episode, but like later on we'll revisit that.
But for this show right here, Dre, she goes from one psychotic murder to the next. Yeah. Even though many of her victims are awful people, none of them actually deserve to die. So it makes it impossible to watch Dre work and root for her. I don't root for her. I'm just rooting for her to get caught. Like and Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, he pretty much created this series actually. Him and Janine Neighbors. Yeah. It's supposed to take a satirical aim at the nature of fame and the rabbit fandom as a manufactured replacement for genuine emotional connection. And it satirizes all those grown ass women who are pretty much fucking stans for Beyonce. I mean, I used to see that at one of my jobs, grown-ass women who worship Beyonce and try to incorporate their Beyonce's name into their actual signature block in their email.
I'm sorry, that's funny as shit. It's a little extreme.
I'm serious. It's real. It's real life. They worship Beyonce.
No, I know a few of them. I actually know someone from my past that.
Like, don't you ever insult the Beehive.
I literally would attack anybody that was rumored to cross Beyonce. She would used to add them on tweets and shit. It was wild, man.
It's crazy. It's like Beyonce has that kind of influence over people.
Rent free in some people's heads.
I mean, look at Kanye. Look at Kanye. Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. And Beyonce's like, oh my God, I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Beyonce cool though. Beyonce's cool. I like Beyonce. I just don't like.
I don't like how people just worship her like she's God Almighty. Like
that extremity is a little much. But like
the second coming of Christ.
I think she's a good woman. She's very aware of her influence, and she tries to do it. She tries to do it in a good way.
Nigga, I remember when we were 19-year-olds back in 2002. What's it called? You hated how she sounded. Talking about what's y'all's goals?
Oh yeah.
What's y'all's goals?
Yeah. I hated how she interviewed, dog. It's like
she wasn't refined back then.
Yeah. She's a lot better now. She's a lot. Oh, maybe she's an adult now, but back then it used to peeve me. You remember that? Yeah. It's you. Of course you remember.
Yeah, it was 20 years ago.
But I remember that shit. That shit used to irritate me. I was like, why does she sound like that in her interview?
Well, she's from Texas.
I know, but like, she didn't sound very articulate at the time.
And speaking of Texas, a lot of the plot takes place in Texas.
Houston.
Dre's from Texas.
From, actually. A lot of it is actually held in Houston, so it's like kind of ties into the whole Beyonce thing.
Like even the first episode where they got Damson Idris as Marissa, Dre's boyfriend, Khalil. Yeah, he's still doing that American. He's good at Damson Idris. He's good at American accents. He's good, really is. And this role right here, he's good at playing assholes.
Yeah. You got the clap Chloe.
You got the clap Chloe.
At the beginning, yeah.
And he looking at Dre right in the eyes. He's having like.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
But as of all the moments in the show when he's Dre's first kill actually.
Yeah.
But she killed him because what's it called? He thought that he was cheating on her sister, and that's why her sister killed herself.
Which is probably partially true.
Might be true. Yeah, I can see that nigga being a cheater. Khalil being a cheater.
But like, she had some real issues. I don't know if it was
Dre or Marissa.
Marissa, whether it was self-esteem or because there was evidence earlier in the episode where you could actually see she tried to cut herself. Like, remember that scar?
Mm-hmm.
So she had attempted suicide before, which means she probably had self-esteem issues and or some kind of self-conflict that she hadn't quite dealt with on
some level.
Therapeutic level.
Oh, and also a lot of the casting is pretty meta. Like the woman that plays Marissa, that's Chloe Bailey. Mm-hmm. And she's opened for Beyonce many times, and a lot of her songs are featured in the show.
Yeah, her and her sister Haley are like low-key her prodigies, Beyonce. So she kind of took them under her wing. I almost think they were signed under her.
Yeah.
Maybe listen to the music, so I think that's what it is.
Does Beyonce have like her own boutique label or whatever? Her own label now? She should.
Possibly. As big as she is, she probably does.
She should, because I remember Madonna. She had her own label, Maverick Records, and she had mad people under her. What's it called? Alanis Morissette, the Deftones. They were under her label.
Okay. Yeah. So, I wouldn't be surprised if that drove her off the edge. But I think when it comes to Dre, I think there are tiers to unpack with her. I think she's
got Arrested Development, clearly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she has very, very prominent mental health issues that have never been addressed.
Yeah, Arrested Development being one of them.
Exactly. Yeah. And then I think she's had a tumultuous childhood.
Yeah, she's
being moved around different homes.
Adopted and not accepted by nobody. Like episode number 6, the documentary type episode.
So that kind of clarifies a little bit of her background.
Exactly. The white girl that talked about her.
Yeah, so she that was her first
sleepover or whatever.
Yeah, she actually stabbed somebody at the sleepover.
She did because she thought that white girl was attacking Marissa.
Another element of obsession. So she was also obsessed
with her sister, yeah.
Yes, which at the end is kind of illustrated where the two, when she's hallucinating, because then again, that's another thing. She hallucinates a lot throughout the show. But at the end, you see her visualize Marissa and Nyjah in one being.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, what's actually going on is she's kind of infiltrating the concert. She's probably getting arrested.
The funny thing about that is her girl. That was the last episode, right? And her girlfriend, Rashida at the time.
Yes.
She killed her girlfriend Rashida because,
she called her out.
Called her out for her obsession with Nyjah because instead of paying the rent, she bought some first row Nyjah tickets. Yeah, and called her out for it. Mm-hmm. And then what's it called? Dre choked her to death and still slept with the body all night long.
And burnt the body.
With the tickets in there, yeah.
Idiot. Then she had to go commit another murder with a, what you call them?
A ticket scalper?
Yeah, ticket scalper. She murders this ticket scalper to get the tickets. Finally gets into the concert and gets arrested. More than likely, she's going to get pinned to the murder.
That's one thing I didn't like. How it ended, like with Nyjah accepting her, and we can't tell if it's a dream or not.
It was definitely a hallucination. I think even there's a scene where she apparently, remember the time she's eating the fruit?
Oh yeah.
Apparently she's biting Nyjah.
Oh, you bit her on the neck, in the club.
Yeah, exactly. So like she clearly has mental health issues. But then, like you said, that episode where they kind of go backwards, there's certain things that are kind of, I had to watch the shit twice to get an idea what the fuck they were talking about. So like, the whole idea of spilled milk is blood.
Yeah.
That dates back to, I think, when her grandmother died, and before that, when her parents died at an early age. She was familiar where she had seen blood, a lot of spilled blood. And I don't know where that terminology came from, that whole spilled milk as a metaphor for blood.
Yeah.
And that possibly has a psychological effect on her to the point where...
Why she's not affected by murder or blood?
Like, the concept of spilled milk probably induces a level of appetite. That's why she's always eating when she kills, a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, look at her car, all them Popeyes boxes and whatnot.
Yeah. So, like, that whole concept was kind of tied in. But also the fact that she's passed around different homes when what's her face? Drea's parents actually adopt her. They actually don't adopt her for the right reasons.
They don't.
They adopt her for a check. Because, you know, when you adopt, you get money. They were broke. So part of the reason...
They were broke living in that big-ass house?
When he was pointing a gun at her, he actually explained why they actually adopted her.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, we adopted you because we're getting money. We're getting checks for adopting. We get money to help, help us raise you.
Or they could have just been greedy. Didn't want to spend none of their own money.
Basically. Or that. But then he returned her because he started to see her
sociopathy or psychopathy.
Exactly. And he started to notice her lesbian tendencies, and he was afraid for his daughter. But I guess they didn't know. Later on, they
reconnected and say cool with each other.
Exactly. So like all that shit also added to him already existing mental health.
And also the more on the casting. In the first episode, she has a one-night stand with Rory Culkin, who's Macaulay Culkin's younger brother. Yeah, and Rory Culkin, one of his biggest roles was Scream 4, where just like Dre, he plays a serial killer who murders because of their obsession with a piece of media, which for Dre is music, but for Rory Culkin's character in Scream 4, it was a horror films.
Oh, okay. I didn't get past Scream 2, so I'm sorry.
I didn't get past Scream 3, and that was over 20 years ago.
Yeah, Scream 1 was bad enough. I gave Scream 2 a shot. Terrible.
You don't like Scream? You don't like Scream 1?
Fuck no.
Really?
No.
Scream, that was the best one.
I'm sorry, Dave. I know you love the Screams. Shit's is garbage, bro. Shit's is garbage.
They're satire of horror movies.
I know you watched this, so I'm talking to you, David. That shit's garbage.
The first one was the only good one in my opinion.
David was a trooper though. He watched all of them.
He watched all of them. Yeah, he still does.
Yeah. I'm kind of with him with the H2 the
Michael Myers Halloween's.
After Halloween.
H2O
5, it becomes garbage. But I was such a trooper. I watched a lot more of it.
I watched
a lot more of them.
I watched until the Rob Zombie ones. After the Rob Zombie ones, I quit.
I heard the latest one was decent, but
I don't want to see it.
I can't fade it, bro.
I don't want to see it no more. It's like, you know, they've been showing lately on cable a lot. All the Friday the 13th movies, all 9 of them.
Another garbage one.
They're all stupid as hell.
Yeah, the first one is good though.
All of them are crap.
No, the first one is good.
No, I think they're all crap. They're all formulaic and they're not scary.
They're not.
It's like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, you're gonna take Jason's mask off and
they're not scary.
In Jason's mask, either he's fucking a monster or a retarded child.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, the first one is pretty stupid, but it's probably the best one out of the lot. Kill Bobby.
I won't let her kill her, Jason. I won't let her kill her. Are you crazy Karen?
Hey, dog. That shit is stupid. Now that I think about it, you're right.
All of them are dumb.
No, you're right.
Jason just looks cool with a hockey mask. That's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't have no personality, none whatsoever. Freddy, Chucky, even Michael Myers had a personality.
The first one was good.
First one was good, but by the third one, they became funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why even now, even though Robert Englund is retired from acting or retired from the Freddy character, come on, give a Freddy versus Chucky movie. That should be funny as hell.
Yeah, big facts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what was I even saying before we get off topic?
I don't know.
But yeah, you probably wouldn't. But yeah, back to her obsession with Marissa and
Nigel.
As I said, she hallucinates a lot. Even it took me the second watch to realize the fucking text messages. At one point, she started hallucinating with those. Remember after
she was hallucinating?
Those weren't real, man, because her sister was dead. She was still getting texts.
I remember she was texting and texting her sister back, hoping for an answer, but
and she was also getting texts back.
Oh, you're right.
She was hallucinating.
I remember
so
that.
At one point, she did away with the phone, and that kind of helped her.
And she tried to get it reactivated somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy was like, "This is sketchy. I don't want to do this. He wins your money."
Yeah, she probably had like split personality or schizophrenia.
She had something. Something was wrong with her mentally.
Yeah.
But I will say that Dominique Fishback, she's gonna get an Emmy nomination at least.
I actually started following her because of the show because she did such a good job. I was like, I gotta support her work.
Some actors,
she actually did really well. I was impressed.
Some actors they had that effect on you. Like what's it called? Like the chick that played Kato on the first season of BMF, Jonah Alexis.
I knew her before that.
Yeah. I like her.
I follow Kofi off the strength of that too.
Well, yeah, I followed a lot of BMF actors off the strength of the show.
Yeah. Shout out to Kofi Ghana.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. But there are parts of the film that were parts of the show. I'm sorry, that were just darkly funny. Like when she befriended that one guy who worked at the stadium.
Oh yeah.
The one who had an eating disorder, and they started making love over their mutual lust for junk food, and then she locks that dude in the freezer. He's like, "Let me out," and he turns around. It's like, it's not so bad now. They got a cake in here. Yeah, but for how long?
Yeah, you're gonna freeze to death.
You're gonna freeze to death at some point, yeah. And that cake is probably frozen solid.
Yeah, facts.
And the Billie Eilish, the one with the lesbian cult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was kind of funny actually. Funny. When she was on her way to Bonnaroo, the concert.
The concert, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy how long it took her to finally actually get to the concert.
Get to Niger, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Several failed attempts, so much debt.
Oh shit! I burned the tickets with the body.
And the first time around, when she got them for her sister was about to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So,
and they also
missed opportunities, man.
And Dre, the first episode when she with that Asian lady in that convenience store tried to force her to pay her sister's debt, that $5, and Dre still paid it.
So that's another thing about the show. I found out that a lot of his concepts were taken from real life activities. Mm-hmm. The stripper murder was actually a concept taken from something that actually happened in 2018.
And Donald, that's probably why Donald Goines has every episode with the preamble of, "This is not a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is intentional."
Yeah, exactly. Down to even the eating, they got that concept from like people like Dahmer.
Yeah.
The dude in California, I forget the whatever.
The Night Stalker?
Night Stalker dude, because he used to ravage people's fridges after he killed them. So like those concepts he would take from real life and serial killer tendencies to kind of mesh them into her character. And some of the turn-in events were actually like the stripper stuff.
Yeah.
Was motivated by real life events.
When they killed that Winnie, it's a testament to how calculating, despite being impulsive, that Dre is. When she was working at a strip club in Memphis, I think it was, and she managed to get all them strippers together. Well, not get all of them together, but they needed her to be the designated driver for the episode. and she manages to like, turn it towards her own mission. To get towards the guy who dissed Nyjah on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And she does manage to kill him. Or rather, she managed to get the other girls to kill him in self-defense.
Right.
And they take the fall for it. All while she gets on her mission to go find Nyjah.
Yeah.
Obsessive. She's a stan.
Very. And it's very much a stan.
Yeah.
I think I also read somewhere that the motivation for that end scene when she ravages or storms the stage was motivated by Jay-Z concert where Beyonce was actually performing, and fans stormed the stage to try to get to her.
And the elevator incident with Beyonce's sister, I think it was.
Oh, with Solange.
Yeah.
So, very, very obsessive. She's very obsessive, with Marissa and Nyjah actually. Mm-hmm. That I think at the end I think Glover and the other lady. What's the other lady that
wrote it? Janine Neighbors.
Yeah, they kind of wrapped it up by showing her obsessions in one being, because they put she meets Nyjah, but it's Nyjah with Marissa's face.
Yeah, it could be still like some way of her, some method of her grieving actually for Marissa. Yeah. And melding them together as a way of coping with her grief. Yeah. But Yeah. I don't. For this season,
it was a lot. There was a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, and it wasn't resolved the way I wish it would. Like, for example, episodes 6 and 7, they should have been swapped.
You said, are they planning on making more seasons?
Here's what I think. If this is an anthology, then they should go at
in that sense. Yeah.
Then they should go at celebrities who are worshipped by like the public unreasonably. Like for example, if they do a second season, then they should tackle Kevin Samuels. He's another one like that. I mean, there are grown-ass men that worship every word that teeter on every word he said, even after his death.
Yeah, but you know the whole concept of how he became popular, right?
Same thing that Andrew Tate does now.
Well, what happened was he had a segment with a lady, and that shit went hella viral, like really viral. That's what put him on the platform. And the reason why a lot of women call in knowing that he's still gonna tell them a lot of bullshit is in hopes that they're also gonna go viral.
Oh yeah, so get some money.
That he was able to get a consistent audience.
He was, yeah.
A lot of women would call in hoping that their footage would break the internet like the first one.
I will say this: some of the things he says make sense. Some. But
some of them do, but for the most part,
he's talking
shit.
Yeah, he's talking
a lot of shit for the most part.
Yeah, like playing the role of a misogynist in order to get some money.
You know, a broken clock is more correct at least once.
So a broken clock is correct twice a day.
Is it twice? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Twice. Yeah. AM, PM.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
So yeah. In that sense, he's gonna say some things that do make sense, but a lot of the shit he says is a lot of shit. But he knows that. He knows
that, but what's it called? He's not completely self-unaware.
Yeah, exactly.
Or rather knew that. He's dead.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure the women know what to expect when they call in. But they're looking to go viral. It's today's
and he knows
Black
that too.
Mirror shit.
And he knows that too. He knows it as well. He knew that as well too.
Yeah. Anywho. Y'all check this out. This shit is weird as fuck.
But
check it out. It's a weird ass fucking show, but check it out. You might have to watch it twice to catch certain things.
Yes.
I haven't watched it.
I did. I watched it 3 times.
I watched it 1.5 times, and the rest I kind of watched the recap to remind me of what happened. But yeah, that shit's crazy.
It's really a satire on fame and how people get so obsessed over famous people.
Yeah, and it's real.
It is. Real. Like we said, it is real.
Real phenomenal.
Defending the castle and king that you don't know.
Yeah. It should never get that far.
No, it should never veer into homicidal territory.
Factuals, my friend. Factuals. But y'all, I need y'all to comment, critique, and give us suggestions on other stuff that you know. You guys watch. I see y'all watch, but you don't do that. You don't do any of that.
You don't. But then again,
feedback.
In all fairness, we don't engage you as much either. I mean, the past month we haven't been on IG that much.
That's true.
Yeah, we need to engage y'all more. Put like posts.
We gotta do better.
Polls.
I agree, Si. We
Yeah.
gotta do better with that and get you engaged and make sure that you respond.
Yeah.
Because we love y'all. That's why we keep doing this.
Yeah, shout out to my dudes in Three Black Geeks, because what's it called? They do shit like this, and what's it called? I looked at them for a lot of their podcasts to see what they do, and they manage. They have fun. They engage their audience, and that's what leads to more fun.
Absolutely. At some point, we'll get to that. Hopefully, God willing.
Yeah.
At some point, as we are doing the podcast, we'll interact with you. Have maybe do it through a
live session or whatnot,
like maybe StreamYard or something, and have your comments as we're talking. But that's something down the line. But for now, we just want to have you engaged in feedback for the episodes.
Yeah.
Things that you want us to talk about.
And
tell
us anything. Even if you think it sucks, tell us that.
Yeah. Let us know which one of y'all is trying to holler at my man Si.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah, I'll play with you. But he's actually saying yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. The other side of my pillow is pretty cold.
Yeah. You holler at him off. That has nothing to do with this episode. Holler at him off camera.
Yeah. I mean, you the one that's touting me right now, nigga.
You're my dog. I gotta look out for you, bro.
Well, no doubt. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. Want to add anything?
What's it called?
For this episode, do we miss anything, by the way?
We didn't miss anything as far as I'm concerned. As far as topics.
As crazy as the show was.
Yeah.
As in Swarm. I'm pretty sure we missed a lot of details because the shit was fucking crazy.
It was detailed. There was a lot of imagery in there that we missed.
I am very curious to hear what the audience has to say that differs from ours, because it could go either way. It's all about interpretation.
Some people hated it. I know that for a fact, and they have valid reasons as to why. But if you got that too,
I was pissed off too when I was watching it, but I couldn't stop because I wanted to see what the fuck the goal was.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say I'm pissed off. I'm still a little what the fuck did I just watch?
Not on the level of Tiger King or something like that. Because I got tricked into watching that dumb shit. We all did.
Hey, go ahead with your basket self, bro.
That bitch Carol Baskin.
Go ahead with your basket self. But yeah, special big ups to Dominic Fishback, because she killed that role.
She did.
She's the reason why I am what the fuck did I watch? Because she really did a great job as.
She did a good job as Dre. Yes, she did. She's gonna get an Emmy or Golden Globe
I hope so, 'cause she
nomination at least.
She deserves it. And I follow her, and I will watch anything. She was in Transformers. I can't watch that shit though, because
which the first one?
The one that's about to come out or is already out.
The Beast Masters or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The reason why I'm not watching that is because I am an original Transformers fan. I'm not trying to reveal my age, but I love Transformers as a child, and the movies have been terrible.
Although the first live action one, the one in 2007, that's been the only good one. It's the only one I own personally.
Garbage, dog.
Garbage. That was the only good one.
I watched the first two. I watched the second one hoping it would be better.
You didn't see that Easter egg with Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime,
bro. Let me
tell you this right quick. When I first saw that in the theater, when Prime first spoke and we realized Peter Cullen, every guy that's our age in the theater got up, stood, and applauded. Some of the niggas were even crying.
That doesn't take away from the fact that the movie was garbage.
Nah, that was the best one of all of them. The other movies were garbage.
Let me tell you what I liken to so you can relate to what I'm saying.
All right, speak on it.
Do you see how much you hate the X-Men movies that have come out?
Not hate, but well, most of them I hated. Yes.
Yes, because you are a real original X-Men fan.
The only good one has been X2.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
No good one, but relatively speaking, they've been terrible movies. The same applies for Transformers. As someone that watched it from childhood and knows.
So did I.
Nah, bro.
Okay, the cartoon movie that came out in '86, that was a good one. That was good. The 07 movie was good too. Anything after that, no.
I can't call the 07 good, bro.
No, the 07 was the only good one.
Good luck with that.
It was the only good one.
Michael Bay don't know what he's doing, dog.
Granted, Michael Bay.
He don't know what he's doing, dog.
Yep. Granted, Michael Bay, he tells a story through explosions and action and whatnot. Look at Bad Boys.
He fucks up the story, bro.
He doesn't know how to tell a story. He doesn't know.
Yeah,
I
couldn't get him with it.
But I still enjoyed the 2007 Transformers film. The live action one is the only good one. I was like, okay, I'm sold on this one. And it was around this time too, over 16 years ago, 4th of July.
Yeah, I do remember that. I was excited and I was disappointed.
He was disappointed. I was okay with it. Anything after that?
But yeah, back to the point of the matter is shout out to Dominique Fishback because she killed the role, and I will not be watching Transformers. But anything that you make after that, I will support.
Give Damson Idris his flowers, dude. I mean,
shout out to him too, boy, Nigel Boy. Go out. Shout out to Damson. He did even though it was a brief.
It was only a brief part, but it's like he knows what the hell he's doing.
So, I'm pretty sure he's gonna have a lot of roles coming up soon. I know like a lot of his production or catalog is mainly Netflix.
Netflix. He was in Black Mirror the previous season back a few years ago.
He was one of the earlier ones. Same with Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
yeah, they homies.
Yeah. They go back. They started from ends. So shout out to them and big up to more of our black actors and actresses coming up in the game.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe, pass it around.
Yeah, pass it around. Take a picture. We don't care, just as long as you know our name is out there.
For real. Cause y'all gang, we love y'all and
gang.
We look forward to episode 4.
Episode 4, yeah. Shout out next month, July.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing something then.
Yeah.
So watch our podcast, listen to it. Check us out on Instagram, on YouTube. Pretty much everywhere we got a podcast at. We're all over the place, all day, every day. 301 Colored Commentators.
You know it.
So on that note,
we're out.
Peace.